Hello and welcome. This is an example of the Crypto Trade Matcher in action. The Crypto Trade Matcher, when you receive it, it'll be in a folder. This is the program itself right here. We'll come back to that in just a second because let me explain the overall process. What we're going to demonstrate today is the use of this software to prepare your tax returns and a quick update of the final resulting files to TurboTax. The file that we're going to use in this case is a list of trade transactions. In this particular case, the trade transactions, there are 1,020 lines of trades. They are buys and sells of Bitcoin and Ethereum coin, ETH coin, and BTC coin. They are at realistic prices for the coins during the year, but this is a specially designed file that converges back to zero at the end of the year. In other words, when we match these transactions, the net gain or loss is going to be zero. These special files are used for testing purposes of large data sets to make sure that we don't have any errors. But that's just a little heads up. We are going to take this list of trade transactions, these buys and these sells, and they're going to be matched into tax lot units, and then we're going to create the files that you need to file your taxes. And here's how you do that with CryptoTrader. You have your existing file ready to match. You launch the program. The program is it's very simple because the process is going to happen in the background, and you're going to see result files pop up in the background as it goes. We're going to drag our ready to match data set there. Program beeps a couple times and gives you a message when it's done. At this point, most all of the hard work has been done in the background. Your result files are in your folder. We can close the program. You'll notice in the folder there's now a TXF file. This is the file we're going to use to import into TurboTax in just a moment. There is a folder of result files. These are all in CSV format so that you can check them in your spreadsheet of preference. The main ones that you're going to be looking at here are the gains report and any still open positions. In this case, there are other files here, error lines, it's zero, there's no errors. The form 8949C is a CSV format of the section C matches. You're not normally going to you can look at that and analyze it, but you won't normally need it. The gains report is obviously the most important. This file has your match transactions, the headings on it. The index heading is an audit index from the lines of the original transactions. You have your quantity, you have your symbol, your open date, your close date. These are time stamped. Your procedure basis and your net gain or loss. Has the side, L designates long, S would designate short. It has days duration between, and it has the time designated as short term. In this particular case, the matches take up 1019 lines to match these trade transactions, and the trade values converge to a net gain or loss of zero, because the original transactions were specifically designed to be a file set that converges to zero. That doesn't mean that all along the way there weren't gains and losses. It just means that at the end of the day they match to zero. The match lines is a raw version of the gains report that you're not going to need to look at. The open positions, in this case it's zero. There are no open positions, but if you still had positions at the end of the year, this serves as a check. The quantity that you have in this open position file should match the quantity that you actually have, quote, in real life. The original data is a backup of the original information that was matched by the program. Again, normally you're going to use this TXF file to import it to your software. We include another program in here. This has been run over some additional data in the prior case. We're going to delete everything except the actual executable so that you see after it runs the files are created from the TXF file that was that was just completed. So we're going to launch the TXF convert. There's the program launched. We're going to go back to our TXF file. We're going to drag and drop it just like before. When it's all done, it gives you a finished converting message, and it is finished. And at this point, you can go to your TXF file, and this gives you really the main files here are the PDF files. These would be necessary if you needed to do a paper filing. The Schedule D itself is watermarked with exemplar because it only shows you how the Schedule D reports other items in addition to just your capital gains from your crypto, but it shows how it should appear on a Schedule D if you're using another software program. The 8949 Box C PDF, on the other hand, is an actual 8949 document. In this case, it's 73 pages long. It has the identifier information that was originally input into the TXF file program, and it has all of the match transactions, all of the detail that the IRS actually demands. It's in the code. That's what they're looking for now. That's what they're going to be checking and auditing for. And again, this converges to a net of 0. And we're going to use this in a minute to double check against TurboTax when it's done. Right now, I'm just going to drop it down and exit, and we're going to go to the process of importing that TXF file into TurboTax. So we have TurboTax on this computer. We've cranked it up. It takes several seconds to actually crank up, and we've gotten to a brand new return. We're ready to go at a brand new return. No data is in this file. To take that TXF file in and populate our 8949 pages in our Schedule D, you go to File, Import, choose from Accounting Software. In the accounting software, you're going to choose a TXF form, and you're going to continue. And by the way, this was the TurboTax desktop version for home and business. At this point, this is in here from a prior. This data is not actually in the program, but the line shows because we've run the program over it before. We're going to cancel this. Excuse me. We're going to browse and import the trades. We're going to choose this file. Now we're going to import it. TurboTax warns us that there are more than 1,000 transactions. It may take several minutes to process and cause it to run slowly. They're ready to import. We're going to import it now. It's, in this case, 1010. It's really not going to take minutes. It's going to take seconds, but it claims that it's done. So we're going to click on Done. Now we're going to go and see if it was actually done. To do that, we go to the View menu, we choose Forms, and on the forms what we're interested in is the Schedule D and the 8949 pages. The Schedule D, we're going to jump there real quick and make sure. As in our example, it converges to 0, and our PDF file, again, these were the same values that are in the original PDF file, which you can see by launching it. Looking at the bottom, I'll move it so you can see they match. Move the window so that you can see they match. Bring the PDF up over it. And you see 12, 127, 78, 205, 58. All right. At this point, we are going to, At this point, we're going to jump to the forms, the 8949 pages. In the 8949 pages, Again, values, and they converge to 0. Again, this was 72 pages of paper pages. This is the detailed track that goes with the Form 8949C form. Okay, let's get back on track and say, okay, well, that all looks good. You produced a file, you imported it into TurboTax. We see how that works. But now we're going to demonstrate another point. We're going to actually take it into an online program. In this particular case, we're going to use CryptoTrader Tax. Here we're logging in. That's a former example of one of these diving portfolios. We're going to go to our import history. We have 0 transactions, so we're going to import into our other account. Excuse me, our other account, we do have imports. We're going to delete those. At this point, we have nothing in our other account. We're going to upload a file. The file that we're going to upload, it's ready to match CRPT. This is the same data as the ready to match that we just ran, except it's in the format for this particular online service. It asks us to classify the Bitcoin things. It successfully imported 1020 transactions, so it looks good. Do we have any to classify? Tells us no. Do we have any to review? No. That's your best possible option. And then tax reports, and you're going to see, whoa, dives to 0. This is a dilemma. This is incorrect.